All right. I went ahead and hit record, Flo. It's happening. Beautiful. Here we go. Hello, and welcome to the Rock Metal Podcast. I am your host, John Harris. Today on the Rock Metal Podcast, we have, and I should have asked you how to say this, Flo. Is it STRYDEGOR?
Yes, that's right. STRYDEGOR.
STRYDEGOR. Beautiful. You say it better than I do with your amazingly beautiful German accent.
Yeah. I can speak better.
Exactly. And you guys have a new album called Isolocracy, which was released on November 13th via MDD Records. And right now, Flo, Rock Metal Nation, we're being joined by Flo to share some more information about what is going on in the world of STRYDEGOR, the world of Isolocracy. We're going to chat about a couple of tracks. So, Flo, welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's very nice to be here. I'm a little bit excited, but I'm sure that we're going to use the time very, very good.
Exactly. I like that you're a little bit excited. Like, you don't want to get too excited just in case I let you down.
No, it's good. I'm a very calm person.
Okay, very good, very good. Fantastic. Sweet. So let's chat about this album, Isolocracy. This sounds like something to do with lockdowns, or is that just a coincidence?
It's more a coincidence, I think, because the whole concept of the album was more about how, from my point of view, or our point of view as a band, that the people nowadays try to get more into their own little bubble, close their eyes, what's happening out there, and we wanted to describe this kind of world order in the words like isolation and where everyone escapes from that reality outside. So uses social media over and over and forgets about using real social experience with people outside.
Okay. I mean, that leads to a very interesting conversation, doesn't it, Flo?
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Because what happened this year? The only thing that people could rely on was social media, and people are not handling it very well.
Yeah, that's true. Most of the people are very confused how to use these media stuff, and it's very sad that it was going out this, but fortunate enough, we are all safe and healthy, and that's the most important thing, I think. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So everybody in the band has been okay? Nobody's been affected by coronavirus? Yeah. Okay.
That's true, yeah.
Okay. Das ist sehr gut. My family as well, we've been okay. We've been living the medical advice to the T, though. Like, our house is a lockdown. We don't even let family over. It's just us, and my wife is on mat leave because she just gave birth to our beautiful daughter 6 months ago.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, Dankeschön. And so she's not going to work. Our 6-year-old son is doing classes online, so he's not leaving the house. Oh. And we are super strict at my work. We're down to a skeleton crew, so I see the same 3-4 people kind of thing, every day. Mm. So we've been sticking to it. Sanitizing hands, blowing nose, sanitizing hands, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying, but it's the only thing you can do. So it's better to do something than not doing anything. So wear your mask, wash your hands, do the best together. Exactly. And after that, we can celebrate a big party.
Exactly. Have a big, huge party like that beach party they had in Wuhan a few months ago. Fantastic. Now, because something you had mentioned there, that I thought was really interesting is Isolocracy. People are going into their own little bubble. They're closing their eyes to what's going on out there. But it's almost interesting to think about the fact that even though people are at a restaurant, I'm sure this happens in Germany. It's been a while since I've been to Germany. But here in Canada, for sure, people sit at a table, a family sits at a table, the kids are on the iPads, the parents are on the phones, nobody's talking to anybody, but they're all sitting together. And now you take away that supposed lack of interaction where only people are able to be on social media. They're not, or they're stuck with their family in their house or whatever on social media. And people are going crazy. I mean, why do you think that is? Why do we need to be sitting at a restaurant on our phones?
Yeah, I think the whole situation right now, everyone is confronted with him or herself and with the closest family or whatever. And yeah, over the time when you were able just to sit there in a restaurant or whatever, you didn't have the time to think about your own problems, what are your own goals or your own wishes or whatnot. So, and now you have the situation, you are confronted with yourself, with your fears, with your whatever. And yeah, that's why unfortunately some people go crazy and whatever. But yeah,
Okay.
it's important to confront to yourself. So you are your closest person in the world. So yeah.
You said something really deep there, though, Flo. You are the closest person to yourself. And maybe that's just it. I read something once, Flo, and this is getting to a very interesting conversation. We'll chat about the band. I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
But I think this is really narrowing in on some cool stuff. Because I read something once that said that the scariest thing a person can do in modern society is spend time with themselves.
Yeah, that's true. We have we didn't do that in the past very often. So because of all that stuff that's going into our mind, I mean, you only have to go to a big city and then you see lights and loud stuff and whatever. We have to learn again what's really important in the world. And some points we wanted to show that with our music, with our whole concept, the whole artwork, whatever.
Okay, now 2 points there that I thought were awesome. Number one, you brought it back to the band, so I'm going to make sure that we do that because this is about STRYDEGOR.
Yeah.
You mentioned you go into the big city, you see all the lights, you see everything, and I was just reminded of some 19th century literature from some great, for example, Goethe, Dostoevsky, where people would go mad in the city. Even in the 19th century, people would go mad in the city, and how would they heal themselves? So they'd go out to the country, and out in nature they would become better. So I thought that was a touch point that I had registered there. And then something else that you had mentioned was that this is exemplified in the artwork of the album. So take us through this album, Isolocracy, from a production standpoint, because Lassie did the mastering, it looks like. So take us through that. Oliver did the production. Take us through that. What else is there that we could talk about? The artwork. Take us through the artwork. So take us through this album, Flo.
Yeah, I mean, the first ideas from the songs were 5, 6, 7 years old. I don't know, but we had some difficult times over the years. We parted ways with our former bass player Clemens, and then Martin, our now bass player, stepped in, and then some personal issues I have to fight with depression, which was a very hard time for me, but now I'm kind of over it. So and all this stuff, all this stuff that happened in the past.
I'm over it, man.
You're laughing, but for me it's important to talk also about this stuff, because maybe there are people outside who think, oh, I have problems, I'm too shy to ask for help. Just do it. Ask for help. It's not a shame. It's a great way. It's worth it. But to come back to the record, all this stuff came together that we at least had now 6 years, I think, from the last record to Isolocracy right now, and we are very fortunate that we have our headquarters in our friend's professional recording studio, Health Sound Studio by Ronnie. He's a good friend. And there we had all the possibilities to use professional equipment all the time. We were flexible, go there, whenever we want. But on the other hand, that was the negative fact, because we were a little bit too lazy. And on the end, we had to get to the point to get everything together so that we can reach the date of release, which was last month. On November 13th, we released our record. And Ronnie also did the production and the recording itself, but Ollie from Kiel, he made a big job on the final editings and the mixing. And then we have Lasse Lammert from Lübeck in northern Germany also. So very, very much in northern Germany, everything here is very cozy. So yeah, and Lasse did the very last step, mastering all the stuff. Yeah, and I'm very, very glad how it all worked out. It was a hard time, but in the end, I'm very satisfied with the result.
Okay, very cool. Now, I'm not familiar with Oliver. I am familiar with Lassie for a number of reasons. We do mixing and mastering over here at Rock Metal Studios, and there was a production that we did a couple of years ago, I think at this point, where they specifically said, we want Lassie to do the mastering. So that was cool to have Lassie master one of my mixes, which is cool. But take us through this particular production team. Why did you choose these guys?
I mean, Ronnie is one of our closest friends, and because he's the owner of the studio, he was very much into it and said, whatever, whenever you want to come here, I'm sitting down with you guys and record. And said also was very critical with us, critical, and said, yeah, just record that again, and very supportive to get the best result as possible. And Oliver is a good friend of our guitar player Daniel, so he worked with him in the past, and he said, yeah, let's do Ollie do the mix, and I was very satisfied with that, of course. Yeah, it was very hard because he's not living this close, so we had to do all this stuff, sending stuff around. But yeah, I mean, that's just small issues, I think, but the result is that what's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, something that you said you wanted to chat about, so we'll go back to it, that I personally found illuminating, because for a long time I've read some literature about how we have emotions as tools. However, as a lot of times in modern society, we try to mask certain emotions, and sadness is an emotion that we have as a tool to let us know that we are angry about something. So anger then morphs into sadness. However, if we suppress that anger to the point where it comes up as sadness, and we suppress that some more, eventually we've suppressed it so much that we've depressed it down. So we've pressed it down so much that it has become a depression.
Yeah, I support that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
And all along that pathway, if we follow that pathway, our choices, there's a second in time where we're able to choose whether or not to get angry. And then as we choose to get angry, eventually there's a moment in time where we choose to get sad or to deal with that anger. We choose to get sad, and eventually we're making the choice to become depressed. So I've heard many times from many different speakers, psychologists, psychiatrists, sociologists, saying, I know it sounds difficult in the grips and the throes of depression, but make a different choice. And it sounds like you may agree with that line of thinking or not, because you said, I'm just over it. I could go there.
Yeah, it's an easy sentence. I mean, it's not really over, so you have to handle it every day, every time. But there are some problems in your head. You have to get into your head, and when you work on that, that's the only possible way to use your emotions for better. I hope you understand, because as you said, we all have these different kind of emotions, but they all can change from another. So when I'm feeling sad, I am the man or the woman who has the possibility to use it to something good or to something bad. So yeah, this is what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Now that leads me, potentially anyway, into a track that you said was very personal for you that you wanted to chat about today, called Escape.
The lyrics itself is from another point of view, like a person is sitting down on a chair, trapped. There are very blinding lights in a very old cabin in the woods or something, some kind of that, and yeah, has the feeling like being tortured and gets all the violence. And in front of him, there's this other guy punching him, doing all this violent stuff. But in the end, the guy sitting on the chair realizes it's all himself. It's the same person that's sitting on a chair as who's violating. So the meaning for me personally is I am responsible for my personal violence I do to myself. So, but I also have the possibility to do something against that. So, on some point, I tried to describe this negativity or this feeling of depression in that particular song. So that's, in my opinion, it's the most personal song for me.
It sounds like you've chosen, going back to the choice, to take control where you can take control instead of falling into a victim mindset.
That's true, yeah. But it's very easy nowadays. So everyone has the feeling, oh, I am the victim, I cannot do something. But yeah, you always have the choice. So when you see something that's you're not satisfied with, try to change it. But for better, for everyone, not only for yourself. Egoism is not helpful in that kind of ways. But yeah, everyone is responsible on this world.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Now the other track that we're going to chat about today is World in Your Hands, complete with a music video, where you look super cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Got your hair down. I barely even recognize you. You're not wearing any glasses.
Yeah, it's all incognito here.
That's right.
Special agent.
Special agent, baby. Now, take us through this music video. Did you guys shoot this before lockdown restrictions? Because I know it's been pretty tight in Germany. Am I right?
Yeah, it was shot before all the Corona stuff. It was like last summer, I think. But nowadays, yeah, in Germany, there are regions where there are big restrictions and have problems to go outside or something. But where I live in the northern part, especially here, it's a little bit more calm. But yeah, also all restaurants are shut down and you're not allowed to meet so many people. I think two people from different households or whatever. So we're not allowed to rehearse, which is very sad. Of course, no gigs at the moment and no video shootings. But yeah.
Okay. Well, so take us through that then. If you guys can't get together and practice, there's you can't even go get, a schnitzel at
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You got to make the schnitzel yourself. Can you make a good schnitzel?
I'm not so much into schnitzel. I think my wife is a vegetarian, so we often cook vegetarian food at home. Oh. But when I'm outside, I sometimes eat döner or sometimes a good roast beef. That's more my special stuff.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to imagine. Obviously now, there are probably a lot of vegetarians and vegans in Germany, but just thinking of like hardcore German food, like bratwurst and spätzle and schnitzel and all these. Like, how in the world do you conceive of a vegetarian German? But I get it. Cool. And you got the doner there. That's perfect. Doner kebab. How do you like your doner kebab?
Very hot. So with chili and onions, all the full stuff inside.
All the stuff, baby. Sweet. Okay, so what is the plan then? How have you guys been handling this? Is it just like interviews like this that we're doing here? Have you guys been doing live streams? How have you guys gone about promoting the record in a world where you can't do the traditional ways of promoting it?
Yeah, most of the stuff right now is we're promoting pictures and videos, the old stuff, also the latest video for World in Your Hands. In the background, we're working on another lyric video, which will be hopefully coming out very soon. And we also had a plan to record some kind of studio stream or use it for a music video, but right now everything is postponed to next year. Yeah, and we use every possibility, like this interview here, of course, or like in magazines, to get the name STRYDEGOR outside as much as possible, because I mean there are a lot of bands. I don't know how it is in Canada, but here we have trillions of bands who want to promote, and yeah, it's very hard to entertain your crowd or the people outside. So we do the best to get out constant stuff over and over again, so the people hear about our name and our music.
Well, you can't mistake that name. Jeez Louise. World in Your Hands, though. What is this track about? What is the world in my hands? Is this back to, I mean, based on our conversation, the choice is in my hand. All I need to do is...
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you see the world outside, you see problems, or it's not only about negativity, you can also see it on the positive side. You want to give the people more options, do something together, create something like music or art or even sports if it's possible. And now in these restrictions, it's very hard, but yeah, you have the possibility to create the world in a way that it affects all the other people as well, and of course the nature, and yeah, that's what it's all about. You have the world in your hands.
The world in your hands, baby. Beautiful. Okay, so we chatted about escape, world in your hands. We did some personal development where we chatted about making the choice as to where you're going to go today. What is in your hands? What is the choice that you have? Which is powerful stuff that, I don't know, maybe it resonates at this time, maybe it doesn't. There's some scary stuff going on as far as depression is concerned. Statistically quite up right now. So hopefully that helps some people. And I want to make sure that people listening in don't feel attacked. We're trying to help. And hopefully it feels like help. And then, what else is there? We chatted about how you guys have been doing this year. Is there anything that I missed, Flo, that you wanted to chat about?
Well, I don't know.
Okay, ich weiß nicht also. How do I say too? I also don't know.
Auch.
Ich auch.
Ich weiß es auch nicht.
Yeah. Ich weiß auch nicht. Is that how I say it? Is that the grammar?
Yeah, that's great.
All right, perfect. You're from the north. I'm told I have a northern accent. I think it's great.
I've never been to Canada, actually. I have met some people from Winnipeg, and they also told me there are a lot of people talking like German, low German stuff. But I hope when all this crazy shit is over, I have the possibility to come over and visit your beautiful country.
Oh, thank you. And I'm glad you brought up Winnipeg, because I may live in Edmonton, baby, but I'm from Winnipeg.
Ah, cool.
And I know exactly what they're talking about, because there is a lot of low German and Jewish immigrants that ended up in Winnipeg. And,
okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, and Jews speak, or at least the ones that ended up, like my family, that ended up in Winnipeg, speak Yiddish, and Yiddish is a form of low German.
Ah, cool, yeah. Where I live, most of the older people talk like low German, but it's very... it's not so often. So sometimes you sit in a bus or something and you hear someone talking like that, but it's going less and less.
Good. Them and their low German ways. Beautiful. All right. Well,
get low.
Get low. I was actually listening to Rammstein the other day, and I was reminded that they were low German because they said "svol" instead of "zwei." And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. And
actually, the singer of Rammstein lives not that far from here where I live. So I'm living 1 hour away from Hamburg and to the east, and half of the band of Rammstein is also from Schwerin, this city where I'm from here. So yeah.
Wow, very cool.
Very, very big metal scene in Germany. How's the situation in Canada? Are there a lot of metal bands going around?
Yeah. Especially in Quebec, that's where you get a lot of your technical death metal and different kinds of death metal. Christian Donaldson, if you look into him, he's one of the top producers of said death metal. Cryptopsy, I believe, is his band.
Cryptopsy, okay.
Yeah, that comes from Quebec.
Isn't Annihilator also from Canada, I think?
Yes, they are.
Ah, yeah, cool.
Yeah. Archspire is from Canada.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna check out more Canadian bands. I mean, I was on a guitar clinic of Annihilator. What is his name? Jeff. I'm not so into much in that stuff. But
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Cool, baby.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the Rock Metal Podcast today.
Thank you, John.